Hey YouTube, coming back at you again with another one. I've got the 16 gauge compression form Winchester shells here. These are a one-piece shell. If you have a Lyman's 5th edition manual, you'll find this load I'm fixing to put together in it. It's listed under the Bismuth load for 16 gauge, and it only moves 1275 feet per second, but Bismuth is a very dense shot. It's more dense than steel. It's kind of sandwiched right in between lead and steel. Steel being the lightest. It's like 7.8 grains per cubic centimeter, and lead being at 11 or just a little over 11 grams per cubic centimeter. Bismuth is right there in the middle, 9.5, something like that. You can look up all the statistics on that. I don't want to bore you to death. But we got this here. I've got the powder measured out. I've got my shot weighed out and measured. I got my hull, my wad, my primer. And this is, once again, long shot powder, 23.5 grains, Winchester 209 primer, Remington SP16 wad, and it moves, like I said, at 1275 feet per second. So this has already been resized and deprimed, so I won't go through that step. We'll put our primer here. You can put these shells up here on this rammer tube, or you can just lay them down here, either way. I always run my thumb on here. You see me run my thumb on here in the last video to make sure that primer is seated down in there and flat, because I don't want it to be sticking up in any way. So if it fits in here, it's usually good. But I'm not going to be using this, because you notice I don't have any shot, or any powder, or any shot, because bismuth is very expensive. I used this bismuth shot that's available from Roto Metals, number 4 bismuth, and 10 pounds is pretty expensive. So I like to weigh my powder out and weigh my shot out, and that way I know each load is consistent. And since it costs so much, I make sure and do it this way so I can get the most out of it. Anyway, I'll take a funnel. Since I've got my primer in here, I'll stick it in this shell. I'll take the powder that I've weighed out, drop it in there. I'll stick it in here. I'll put my wad on this rammer tube. Drop my wad in there, come out. But Remington wads kind of have a tendency to do that. So you just pack it in there with your marker, tamping rod. Take my shot. You can use a funnel if you want to. I usually just cut my hand around the shell here, and I'll just pour it in there. I've already swapped out my crimper for the 8-star crimper. So I'll put this here. And we get a beautiful, beautiful round of bismuth at 1275. Bismuth is more like lead, so it's going to be soft. It's safer for older shotguns. If you have some older shotguns you want to shoot this through, it works great. It does not harm your barrel, so it will deform a little bit. The shot will deform, kind of like lead. Lead gets flat spots on it, so you have flyers. And steel doesn't do that. Steel stays round because it's hard. Bismuth will do that. Bismuth will do like lead. It'll get flat spots on it, and it will fly more like lead will. Excuse me. So I hope this is a little bit of a help to somebody. And if you're interested or thinking about loading bismuth, well, I would say go for it. It's very effective, works very well. And if you have an older shotgun, a double barrel, or an older Browning, or an older Remington that's a 16 gauge that you would like to shoot, they have ways for you to be able to take those out. I don't take this out every day. I use steel every day when I go out. On occasion, I'll take this out and shoot it out of my my parents bought me a old shotgun, 16 gauge, whenever I was a kid. That it ain't much of a looker anymore, but it still works, still pulls the trigger, it still fires, still keeps a good pattern, and works real well. So please like and subscribe. We are going to be looking at some things. I'm going to pattern the loads that I'm putting together so I can show you what they're able to do at 30 yards. 30 yards is about where I like to keep my shooting at. I usually don't worry about long shots and you know, can I shoot 45, can I shoot 50? I like to see ducks whenever if I can see their feet or if I can see their eyes, I know that they're in shooting distance and I should be able to get them. Both of these loads that I put together, this bismuth load and these two steel loads that I've put together, will work on ducks. If you're hunting dove and you're wanting to, you have to go to a place that a public land where I live requires you to use non-toxic shot. You can use these loads and you can just put either, instead of using 4s in either of these, you can put 6s, like number 6s in steel, 6s in bismuth, whatever you'd like. You can even go to 7s and they'll work with no problem. But let me know what you think. Leave a comment. I'll do my best to get back with everybody, and y'all have a good day.